Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the F5 season opener here around France. So here I'm in this season at the current time, and we are going for our first flying lap in session number 1 in Q1, and we do a 29.7. Now you can see on our second lap now, we are purple. And this is the RSF1, obviously the amazing group of lads in this tier, in this league, and it's just fun to be a part of. But yeah, we are literally, I would say we're battling pole position with Fruit Boy, Only Destroyer, potentially Dano. You've got a couple of lads in here that can go and put it on pole, but at the moment we're purple. We've lost a little bit of time in the end of this lap, but we're just going to push it to the line, see if we can do just enough to get us into Q2, and we do go top of the session with a 29.5. And as you can see, Fruit Boy matches that. MT the Mighty, a 10th off. Destroyer, 2 tenths off. Skyline, 2 tenths off. Hippo, only 4 tenths off. It's a close grid. Dano's a little bit further down, but I don't think he's really pushed it on the Q1 lap. And oh my god, Mando! Mando has gone around and had a huge off. And you can see the barrier is front flipping and back flipping and having all sorts of fits there. But that is a crazy off there from Mando, and that will eliminate him from the first session. And Eth, I think, is the other driver we've lost. 2 drivers went out in that session. Mando because of his crash, and then Eth. And I think actually a 3rd driver went out, but I can't remember who it was. But now, Q2 here. We've gone on the mediums and done a 30.0. Will that be enough to get us through? I don't think we'll do another lap. And at the moment we're contemplating it. We're 2 tenths up on Fruit Boy. And I think that's where we'll call it. I don't believe we'll go for another lap. And we don't, we retire. Now Daniel P45 loses the back end through the final corner. We're having a few server problems here as well. As you can see from the lag. Just ignore it for now. And Daniel goes P9 for now. Only Destroys a bit lower than he would want to be. Coming to the line. And he sets a 130.193, and that should be enough to carry him through into Q3. And he did. Fruit Boy in 4th, Dano in P2. Racing Car puts himself in P5 there. Now MT the Mighty's at risk. Can Kabuki put him out the session? And he does! That's a surprise of elimination for me. MT the Mighty, Daniel P45, Timmer, and Stars Orphan, our teammate, have all been eliminated from Q2. Now, into Q3, our first lap in Q3. And I'll tell you now, first and only lap, because we did invalidate our other lap. As you can see right now, that did put us top of this lap. If we got this lap to the end, we would have possibly been on pole position. But a little error. Now Destroyer goes top. Now, can Fruit Boy beat Destroyer's lap? Fruit Boy's just behind DOR Skyline on this lap. You can just see him flash through there. We're watching Skyline, so I was curious to see what he was up to. And in the background, you'll see Fruit Boy coming to the line in the Aston Martin. Can he beat Destroyer? And he does! He puts himself back on pole. We're in P3 on the grid. Dano P4, Ellis the Great P5, DOR Skyline 6th, Racing Girl 7th, Ethan 8th, Hippo 9th, and Kabuki rounded up the top 10. Now, we gear up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go! Here for the F5 season opener around France in RSF1. We get a really good launch and go alongside Only Destroyer. Down the inside now. We're into P2. Started on P3, but Destroyer's coming back at us. Is he going to make the move stick? We're side by side. We're not using any ERS yet, but we're going to as soon as we have to. We go wider than him. Get the line wrong to the next corner. You can tell I'm losing my voice. I've done 2 comms and videos in the last couple of days. So my voice is going. Now Destroyer and me side by side. Still side by side is a lovely little bow. And we get the position. But now Ellis the Great on the soft tyres is coming back at us. Can he make a move? Ellis the Great's getting closer. But we're just trying to defend now, because we know his tyres will go off soon and we want to be in P2 and not lose too much time on Fruit Boy, who we know is faster than us, but can he nail the strategy? Can he get this right? Because around here, It's about strategy, it's about penalties, it's about limitising all the mistakes, limiting, because you can do it. You can make a very easy mistake, and as you can see now, we're starting to gap Ellis, and there's a VSC! There's been a crash at the back. For, I'm not overly sure because I didn't see it pop up, but somebody is out of the Grand Prix on the first lap of the race. And that's unfortunate. You prepared all this time for the race and now you're out already. You can see we're staying well away from the lower end of the delta because we know it glitches itself sometimes. We're not even risking it. We're going to lose time to Fruit Boy. I'd rather lose time than go over the delta. And now we're 2 seconds behind him. As you can see, Fruit Boy sets the fastest lap. We go faster with 33.8. And then Destroyer 33.7. Just behind us, so we're all on the same pace at the moment. Ellis the Great's already lost his tyres, and there's another VSC. Another crash has happened. Now you can see Lochar Delta is up a second, then it goes down to minus 0.06. So this is why we're being careful on the Delta, because it's glitched. It can just randomly go up or randomly drop. It's just ridiculous. So we're having to be careful on that. So we just didn't risk anything. And Fruit Boy, 3 tenths faster than us on that lap. Destroyer, a lot faster than us on that lap at 32.9. So now we're just trying to settle down. We lose the back end slightly out of turn 2. But we've got a 4-second gap now to Destroyer on lap 8. Fruit Boy, 1.7 seconds up the road from us. We're just pushing as hard as we can. Little bit wide for here, but we take the exceeding track limits just so we don't have to spin the car, because if we turn a bit more there, we spin in the car. I'd rather take the warning. And you can see in front of us, Fruit Boy has a time penalty already. Destroyer has nothing behind us. Dano has 6 seconds. But we're just settling into the race. We're expecting to pick up a penalty or two ourselves, but we're just trying to settle into this and not be so far back. And now, lap 11. We're looking to see what Fruit Boy's doing. He carries on. So what we do is we dive into the pits. We know how powerful the undercut is around here. And we're into the pit lane for the hard compound tyres. We're going to the end.
Complete, go now.
And this should work. Daniel's retired from the session. He's had enough. He's had a few spins already nice and early in this race. And we should be able to come out in front of the other cars behind us. Yes, we can, because Dano and Ellis the Great have both pitted as well. Timmer's in front of us, but Timmer might get out the way before we get near him. He'll probably pit before we catch up with him. But we're in a very good place. And there you go, Timmer and Only Destroyer. Now, you can see that Only Destroyer pitted a lap after us. This is where you can see how powerful the undercut is. He was, I think, 2.5 seconds behind us when we pitted. Or 4 seconds it might have been. It was one or the other. I can't remember. You guys can see because you've seen it in the video. Look at the gap when he comes out. It is 5 seconds as he comes out of the pit lane, and his tyres won't be up to temperature, so it's gonna increase because our tyres now are up to temperature. Fruit Boy is staying out. I'm not really sure what he's doing. Stars Orphan, our teammate, in the pit lane. Now, can we just absolutely burn a little bit of ERS here just to get closer? We do the fastest lap of the race at 32.5 on this lap on the hard tyres. They feel brilliant right now. We're just pushing. Fruit Boy still stays out. He's 22 seconds ahead now. Now it's 20 seconds. He's staying out. 20.5 seconds. What's he doing? He's 19 now. He has to pit this lap or he's going to bottle any chance of the race victory. And he has to go for the hard compound tyres. If he goes for anything else, he's forcing himself another pit stop and ruining his chances of the race. You can see he's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. It hasn't told us, but you can see he's gone up to 8 seconds on the time penalty. He's made a big error into the pit lane. We were cautious because we know this pit lane can be glitchy. That's why you saw us go so slow into the pit lane. Now, we've got a lagging back marker just in front of us, but we can just ignore him for now. And you can see the gap to Fruit Boy. It might be about 2.5 seconds when he gets up the pace, but he's going to be on the faster tyres. Oh, it's more than that. It's 3.5 seconds. But he's on the faster tyres. Yes, he does have 8 seconds of time penalties, but we need to just get past Ethan here, negotiate past him. He gets out of our way completely. Obviously, we messed up our line because we were looking at him. But it's fine, we move on. He does well to get out of our way at the earliest possible opportunity, because he could have stayed in front of us for a few corners there at his prerogative, really. But he was a very honest driver, got out of the way instantly. And now you can see lap 17, Fruit Boy on the back of us. We used a tiny bit of ERS, but then realised, what is the point of fighting him, because he's going to pass us anyway. We let him go. And now, can we stay within a gap of him? We do go wide there, because it's the first lap we've drove on the hard tyres in dirty air, really, in this race. And you can see our tyres are going a little bit second hand. Destroyer's 6 seconds back. Our little mistake there gave him about 5 tenths, I believe, maybe a tiny bit more. Now Fruit Boy has gapped us. He's gone 5.2 seconds up the road. But you can see in a couple laps time, his tyres will start to go off. I'm not really sure what he was thinking, going as long as he is. Little mistake through there, through turns 1 and turns 2 for ourselves. But we're just trying our best to run out the pace of our race. We don't want to run at Fruit Boy's pace, because he's on the soft tyres, and we will crash out if we try and do that. So we just need to be smart. A silly little warning we picked up there. Now, that means one more warning will mean we lose this race to Destroyer. We are one warning away from a 3-second time penalty. Now we have to be very, very careful. Fruit Boy, you can see tyres are going off. He is slowing in front of us. We are gaining on him. And if you watch the mini-map in the bottom left-hand corner, I think you'll probably see him dive into the pits now. And he does! Fruit Boy in the pit lane. He is serving his 5-second time penalty, and his tyres are gone. He told me after this race he was trying to drag the tyres out to go to a safety car. He's expecting a safety car, and there hasn't been one, which is now played into our hands. A safety car would have probably put him in the lead, and we'd have been second place battling. We'd have had to battle him on track. But this works out much better for us now. And now, as long as we can avoid a 3-second time penalty, we will beat Destroyer. A 3-second time penalty put us under a lot of pressure, because Destroyer has nothing. He's drove a superb race. He's been fantastic. We've not been the fastest car on track today. Fruit Boy, Destroyer, Dano, they've all been a little bit faster than us, but we've just been consistent. Dano had a spin, turn 1, I believe, or turn 2 on lap 1. And he's had a couple of other instances. He had a change in front wing. We've had Destroyer, who's been very consistent, to be honest with you, but he's not pushed as hard as he possibly could because he was worried about penalties. But you can see we're going into the final few corners here in France, in F5, in RSF1. Will this be potentially our first ever RSF1 race victory, our first real league race victory? We're coming around the final corner. We don't pick up any more penalties, and we will win the French Grand Prix here in RSF1 F5. What a performance! And we are over the moon. We lead the championship after race number 1. We did a superb race. We tried our very best. Fruit Boy and Only Destroyer kept us honest for the entire race. They were crazy fast. But we've managed to keep going, get the victory, get across the line, and a superb victory for ourselves. Destroyer comes home in P2. Fruit Boy P3. His strategy of waiting for a safety car did cost him a potential fight for the victory, because he was quick. He probably would have kept us honest and may have passed us, to be honest. But yeah, a very close race. And you can see Stars Orphan, our teammate, comes home in P10, picking up the final point. So for the team altogether, AlphaTauri, we get a total of 26 points. Yesterday's AlphaTauri's Grand Prix, we picked up, I think, 3rd and a 4th. The race before F1, I'm not overly sure. I think we didn't get any points in F1. But a superb victory for ourselves. Superb race for everybody in general. There wasn't that many retirements. There was a couple manual retirements, but there's no real retirements in this race. And we could not be happier to get our first RSF1 victory. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's Grand Prix, today's video. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe for more, because there will be F2, there will be F1, there will be other bits, there will be some My Team. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will get My Team back uploaded again soon. I'll have a couple days off and then I'll sort it out. I've been Chris, 12LFC, and I'll see you later.